Hi children, good morning. Today I am going to start with harmful effects of microbes. Pathogens cause disease in two ways. They are tissue damage and toxin secretion. So pathogen you know very well. The disease causing microbes are called pathogens. They cause diseases in two ways. Pathogens cause diseases by two ways. They are tissue damage and another one is toxin secretion. First, tissue damage. Many pathogens destroy the tissues or organs of the body, causing morphological and functional damage. For example, bacterium of pulmonary tuberculosis damage the cells of the lungs. And virus causing hepatitis destroy the liver tissues. So here tissue damage. Some of the pathogen causes damage in the tissues. And how it causes damage in the tissues? Many pathogens destroy the tissue or organ of the body, causing morphological and functional damage. For example, bacterium of pulmonary tuberculosis. That means in case of Mycobacterium tuberculosis, it is a bacterium. When this bacterium infect a human, it causes tuberculosis disease. It affects the pulmonary region, that is lung region of a human, and damage the tissues in the lungs. And virus causing hepatitis destroys liver tissues. Virus causing hepatitis which destroy the liver tissues. Next, toxin secretion. Many pathogens secrete poisonous substances called toxins which cause tissue damage leading to diseases. So when a pathogen enter into our body, the pathogen produces a toxic substance called antigen. This antigen is a toxic which cause damage in the tissues and leading to the diseases. So these are the two ways by which pathogens cause disease in our body. Let us now study about the causative organism, mode of infection, occurrence, symptoms, and preventive measure of few airborne, waterborne, vector-borne, and sexually transmitted disease. What is mean by airborne, waterborne, vector-borne? The disease which is spread through air is called airborne disease, which is spread through water is called waterborne, and which spread through vector are called vector-borne disease. And some of the disease are caused or transmitted by sexual contact, that is called sexually transmitted diseases. Robert Koch, father of bacteriology, is the first German physician to study how pathogens cause diseases. In 1876, he showed that disease called anthrax of sheep was due to the Bacillus anthracis, which exists in pastures in the form of productive spores. Okay. Then airborne diseases. Human beings inhale atmospheric air. Due to continuous inhalation of contaminated air, the chances for airborne microorganisms to find a host and cause infection are higher. So human beings inhale atmospheric air. Human beings inhale atmospheric air. Due to continuous inhalation of contaminated air, the chance for airborne microorganism to find a host and cause infection are higher. Yes, of course, we are continuously taking oxygen, isn't it? So we are continuously breathe the air. When we breathe like this continuously, if the air is supposed to be contaminated, what happened? The microorganism contaminated in the air enter into the body of host and cause infection or higher. Then most of the respiratory tract infections are acquired by inhaling air containing the pathogen that are transmitted through droplets caused by cough or sneeze, dust and spores. So most of the respiratory tract infections are acquired by inhaling acquired or by inhaling air containing the pathogen that are transmitted through droplets caused by cough or sneeze, dust and spores. Then airborne diseases are caused by bacteria and viruses. A few airborne diseases and their mode of transmission are given in the table. Disease, common cold. Common cold is a airborne disease. Generally, most of the respiratory tract infections are caused due to air or due to contaminated air. The causative agent or enter through the inhaling air and cause sneezing, coughing, all. So in this case, the first one is common cold, and the causative organism for common cold is a virus called the rhinovirus. Rhinovirus is a pathogen which causes a common cold, and then mode of infection is droplet infection. If X or Y person infected with common cold, he will sneeze or cough. During his sneeze and cough, the droplets are expelled out and enter into the air. The droplets are, if the droplets are inhaled by a healthy person whom is near to him, will be affected consequently. Okay. Then this is called the droplets of infection. Next, due to common cold, which are the organs affected in our body? Upper respiratory tract, that is inflammation of nasal chamber. Symptoms: fever, cough, running nose, sneezing and headache. These are the symptoms of this disease. Next, influenza. Influenza is also caused by a virus called myxovirus, and it also infection, droplet infection, and the region or tissue infected by this disease or respiratory tract, that is inflammation of nasal mucosa, pharynx, and symptoms are fever, body pain, cough, sore throat, nasal discharge, respiratory congestion are the symptoms of this disease. Next one is measles, rubella virus. This is caused due to droplet infection, droplet nuclei, and direct contact with infected person. The part of or organs affected by this disease is respiratory tract. Then eruption of small red spot or rashes in the skin, cough, sneezing, redness of the eye, pneumonia, bronchitis are the symptoms of measles. So measles is a viral disease caused by rubella virus. Okay. Next one is mumps. Mumps also caused by a virus, myxovirus parotid. Droplet infection, droplet nuclei, direct contact with infected person. It is like measles only, and the part or organ affected by this disease is upper respiratory tract, and the symptoms are enlargement of parotid gland, movement of jaws become difficult. These are the symptoms of mumps. And next one is chickenpox. Chickenpox is caused by pathogen varicella zoster virus, and it also caused like mumps and measles, that is droplet infection, droplet nuclei, direct contact with infected person. The part of organ affected in the host body is respiratory tract, and symptoms are eruptions of the skin, fever and uneasiness are the symptoms. Next, airborne diseases caused by bacteria. Diseases: first, tuberculosis. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease which is caused by bacteria, and causative organism is Mycobacterium tuberculosis. Mode of transmission is droplet infection from sputum of infected person, and the organ or tissue infected or affected is lungs. Symptoms are persistent cough, chest pain, loss of weight and appetite are the symptoms of this disease. Next one is diphtheria. Diphtheria also a bacterial disease caused by Corynebacterium diphtheriae, and mode of transmission is droplet infection and droplet nuclei, and part affected or organ affected in the host is upper respiratory tract such as nose and throat, and symptoms are fever, sore throat, then soaking of air passage, and whooping cough. Whooping cough is another bacterial disease. It is caused by a bacterium Bordetella pertussis. The mode of infection is droplet infection, direct contact with infected person, and the region or a part or organ affected by this disease is respiratory tract, and the symptoms are mild fever, severe cough ending in oof, loud crowing, inspiration. So these are the various bacterial and viral diseases caused by contaminated air which we have to inhale. Okay. Next we are going to see about the waterborne disease, that you could understand what is mean by waterborne disease. The disease which is spread by contamination of water is called waterborne disease. Microbes present in the contaminated water cause various infectious diseases. Some of the waterborne diseases are cholera, typhoid, infectious hepatitis, poliomyelitis, diarrhea, etc. The most common waterborne diseases and their causative microbial agents. Symptoms of these diseases and preventive measures are given in the table. Okay, bracket it. List some of the waterborne diseases. Okay, cholera, typhoid, infectious hepatitis, poliomyelitis, diarrhea or the disease which are caused by waterborne or contaminated water. Let's see that blood column. What are the various waterborne disease caused by virus? Poliomyelitis, it is a waterborne disease caused by poliovirus, and its mode of transmission is droplet infection, sputum discharge, secretion from nose, throat, contaminated water, food and milk. And tissue or organ affected is central nervous system, that is brain and spinal cord. And symptoms of this disease is paralysis of limbs. Since the central nervous system is affected, and it leads to the paralysis of legs and hands. And the preventive measures and control measures are Salk vaccine or oral polio vaccine is administered. Please bracket it, it is very important. Name the vaccine given to poliomyelitis. Salk vaccine or oral polio vaccine, OPV, is administered to prevent or control the disease. Next one is hepatitis A or infectious hepatitis. It is caused by hepatitis A virus, and it is transmitted by contaminated water, food and oral route. Then the organ infected by this disease is inflammation of liver. Symptoms are nausea, anorexia, acute fever and jaundice are the various diseases. And next one is how to prevention of food contamination, drinking of chlorinated boiled water, personal hygiene are the various measures of preventive measures against this disease. Next, acute diarrhea. Acute diarrhea is caused by rotavirus, and it is spread by contaminated water, food and oral route, and the organ infected is intestine. Then symptoms are vomiting, fever, watery stools with mucus. And the preventive measure for this disease are proper sanitation and hygiene is the preventive measure of this disease. So now we are going to see waterborne disease caused by bacteria, disease cholera, acute diarrheal disease, causative organism Vibrio cholerae, and mode of transmission is contaminated food, water, oral routes and through house flies also. Then tissue or organs affected is intestinal tract, and the symptoms of this disease are acute diarrhea with rice, watery stool. It is a significant symptoms of cholera. Rice, watery stool, acute diarrhea is the significant symptoms of disease cholera. And vomiting, muscular cramps, nausea and dehydration are the various disease caused by this bacteria. And how to prevent this? Hygienic sanitary condition like of oral rehydration solution. Since in this case of cholera, continuous diarrhea, that is acute diarrhea and vomiting has taken place. Because of this, water loss or dehydration of water has to be taken place. So to balance that, oral rehydration solution should be given to the patient. Next one is typhoid. It is an endemic fever. Typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi, and its mode of transmission is food and water contaminated with feces of infected person and through house flies. And the tissue or organ infected as or affected by this disease is small intestine, and symptoms are high fever, weakness, abdominal pain, headache, loss of appetite, rashes on chest and upper abdomen. So these are the various symptoms of this disease. Next one is how to prevent this disease. Preventing contamination of food by flies and dust, improvement of basic sanitation, treatment with antibiotic drugs. These are the various symptoms of this, preventive measures of typhoid disease. Next one is waterborne disease. So far we have discussed about airborne disease and waterborne disease. Now we are going to discuss with vector-borne disease. Vector is an agent that acts as an intermediate carrier of the pathogen. It is an intermediate carrier. What is mean by intermediate carrier? It is nothing but the disease can be transmitted from infected person to a healthy person by some vectors such as house flies or mosquitoes like this. Okay. So that is called what? Vector-borne diseases. So vector is an agent that acts as an intermediate carrier of the pathogen. Many insects and animals act as vector. Diseases transmitted by vectors are called vector-borne diseases. These vectors can transfer infecting agents from an infected person to another healthy person. Some of the insect vector-borne disease, please bracket it, name some of the vector-borne disease: malaria, filaria, chikungunya, dengue, and the diseases which are transmitted through the animals or bird flu and swine flu. So these are the various vector-borne diseases we have seen in the human beings. Let's see malaria. Malaria, it is continued to be one of the major health problem of developing countries. Malaria is caused by a protozoan parasite called Plasmodium. In Plasmodium, there are 4 different species of Plasmodium are there. They are Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium falciparum and Plasmodium ovale are the 4 types of malarial parasite which cause malaria. Malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum is malignant and fatal. Approximately 300 million people around the world get infected with malaria every year. So approximately 300 million people have infected with malaria every year. It spread through the bite of an insect vector, the female Anopheles mosquito, which feeds on a human blood and usually lasts less than 10 days. Okay. So now actually we are discussing the vector-borne disease. Under this we are seeing malaria. So malaria is a vector-borne disease, and which one acts as a vector to conduct the disease from infected person to normal person? Female Anopheles mosquito as a vector which conduct the infected causative organism of malaria from infected person to healthy person. A person affected by malaria will show symptoms of headache, nausea, muscular pain, chillness and shivering, followed by rapid rise in temperature, fever, subsides with profuse sweating. Use of quinine drugs kill the stage of malarial parasite. So the drugs which have given to a patient against the malaria is quinine. Okay. Okay children, today I will stop with this. Know a scientist, Sir Ronald Ross, an Indian-born British doctor, is famous for his work concerning malaria. He worked in the Indian Medical Service for 25 years. He identified the developing stage of malarial parasite in the gastrointestinal tract of mosquito and proved that malaria was transmitted by mosquito. So what he did an experiment about the malarial parasite in the gastrointestinal tract of mosquito. Actually, when we see this life cycle of malarial parasite, it shows different stages. It shows different stages in human as well as in the mosquito, because it need 2 hosts to complete its life cycle. So major sexually stages taken place in the mosquito's body. So inside the mosquito's body, gastrointestinal tract, that is in the mouth, salivary glands, esophagus, stomach, intestinal region are called as what? Not salivary glands. Other parts are considered as gastrointestinal glands. Inside the gastrointestinal glands, what are the changes that this malarial parasite shows? It was discovered by this great scientist Sir Ronald Rost, and in 1902 he received the Nobel Prize for Physiology of Medicine for his work on the transmission of malaria. So in 1902 he received a Nobel Prize for Physiology of Medicine for his work on transmission of malaria. Right. So next one is chikungunya and dengue, which are the other vector-borne disease. This I will discuss with you in my next class, children. And today's homework for you is only 2 tablet column I am going to give. List or tabulate the various waterborne disease, airborne disease caused by bacteria. Tabulate the various waterborne disease, airborne disease caused by bacteria. These are the only 2 questions I will give as homework. Complete it and send it to you, and I will get you in my next class. Bye.